Hey there, friends. Welcome, welcome. It's Lisa at Hand Stamped with Lisa Pretto. Tuesday. Today's Tuesday. Welcome to our craft and chat. I was not here yesterday. I don't know if you can hear it, but I got myself a killer cold. I got a really bad cold. I flew out last Wednesday to visit my son James, who is in Seattle. My daughter Elizabeth went with me, and we had a glorious, glorious time. It was so good. I mean, Seattle is just absolutely beautiful, and we ate all the things. It was so good. But on my flight home on Saturday, I was like, oh, I think I'm getting a cold. And I have been down. I was down. And I still am, you can hear, I'm a little rough. So I will be getting off this Facebook Live and getting back in bed. But I have really cute projects. So here's the funny thing. So I don't know about you, but so I've been taking cough medicine and stuff to help me sleep at night, and so that I'm not so coughy and all of that. You know how that gross, right? It gives me very vivid dreams. So it gives me very, very vivid dreams. And so I woke up in the middle of the night thinking about the card I'm going to share with you today. Like it came to me in the night. Like I knew I had to prep something today, and I kind of had an idea, but all of a sudden I was like, oh, I know what I'm going to do. Isn't that just so weird? But yes, my NyQuil induced dreams, my card is brought to you by that. So if you're ever in a slump, maybe you just need some really good cold medicine to get those creative juices flowing. But I'm super excited. I am very excited about this card. It is featuring, it's so funny, with all of the new releases coming in May, everyone's like, oh my gosh, this is my favorite. Oh, this is my favorite. Oh, this is my favorite. This is another one. I'm like, the minute I saw it, I was like, I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. And I think part of it is because being a Wisconsin girl, going up north is a thing. Like people have cabins up north and things like that. And this is just like this yummy lake feel to it that I just vibed with right away. So I'm very excited to share that with you. So we will be stamping that today. It's going to be one of those, it's a little bit involved, and I have to do it in front of you because of the way the card, it'll make sense when I do it, but I'm super excited about this. So don't forget that the Silly Old Bear Craft Along registration is open. So I'm doing it with Lisa Bowden and Rosemary Gonzalez and Julie Salva. It's 12 projects total, 8 cards, 4 3D projects. You get a full package of the Silly Old Bear DSP Designer Series paper, full roll of ribbon, full package of embellishments, all of your projects cut for you in nice little envelopes, home run. And then you're going to get a video to craft along. And so you can watch this video in real time, or you can like pop in and out as you want. $69, like that is a steal, includes shipping. If you want to add on the bundle of products and all of that, you can do that as well, but super fun. So let me just make sure I show you. Let me turn my camera here and get you something. This is the card I shared last week. So again, that really beautiful paper. Look at that poo. Oh my gosh. Just so cute. So this is, like I said, this is available. You can register probably until like May 3rd. Because I can order products starting May 5th, I believe. And so we need to have that number in before it goes live, because here's the thing. I did have someone comment on something I shared last week, and they're like, it's really frustrating when you guys show all the sneak peeks and then it goes live and it's not really live. Things are on back order right away. And I get that. I completely understand that frustration. It's just the reality of shipping and forecasting and all of those things that go on. And so it's really tricky. No one wants to like showcase items that you can't actually order. That's not good for anybody. So know that that's never the goal, but I do understand that frustration. And that's why that registration for the Silly Old Bear Craft Along needs to be done, so that the minute those products go live, I can order everybody's things and we're all good to go. It's just, shopping online in 2026, just what it is. I feel the same way. A lot of times clothes, I see clothes, someone will be like, oh, I got it there, and I go there and it's gone. So anyway, let's get to the card that I have for you. I'm very excited about it. And let me show you what we're going to be stamping with today. So we are going to be using the Relaxing Waterside stamp set and die and paper. Now, I'm not going to lie, these two I love, super easy. An Adirondack chair. Hello. yes, please, right? But it was really the paper that got my heart going a little pitter-patter. So let me show you what this paper looks like. First off, the paper is called Waterside Retreat, and it is so beautiful. So this page, you can see how it has like all these little images in it all put together. So very, very good for if you are scrapbooking, but we're actually going to use this for a card today. And we're going to use this image right here for our card. So I'll show you that. You get 2 pieces of this. So we need both of, I made one because I had to do it for my Instagram reel for it, but I'm going to show you how we do that. Really fun. But look at the back side of this. That is like Take Me to the Beach stripes. Isn't it so beautiful? And then we're also going to make a card. We're actually doing 2 projects today. We're also going to make a card using, you guys, look at these fish. So my parents had a lake house when my kids were little, and I will tell you, fishing was all we did, because all they had to see was like see the potential of a fish in the water, and there we were. There we were. And then look at that backside. It's really beautiful. It's water. Love that. And then we have these old Schwinn bikes. I mean, isn't this just like, if I had a cabin, I would frame these. I would put these in a 12 by 12 frame, and that would be my artwork. And then on the back, you can see we have those seagulls. So we have that, so pretty. Look at this full page of seagulls. And again, you could use bits and pieces of this for cards and just to create what you want. Really beautiful. Also great for scrapbooking. Look at that. I mean, does that not just like, that is up north. That is up north. That is what we say in Wisconsin. That is up north. Such a beautiful, beautiful plaid. And then look at this. Oh my gosh. Little life preservers and then little buoys. Those are so beautiful. Obsessed with that. The back side is this really beautiful paper. We're going to use this side in our card today as well. And then look at this. Oars and then old school life jackets. Again, if I had a cabin, she'd be framed, she'd be on the wall. And then again, look at that beautiful paper. So it coordinates so beautifully together. So I'm super, super excited about it. So the first card we're going to make today is one that's going to be, it's really easy. It's the card that I was going to make, let's be honest. It's the card that I was going to make yesterday. If I had had my wits about me, we would have made this card yesterday, because it's a really simple stamping card. But I love it because it showcases the designer series papers so well. And you know that I have such a soft spot for designer series papers. So we are going to use the beautiful fish. Let me show. I mean, you guys, I just cannot look at how perfect that is. It is just absolutely beautiful. So we're going to be using this. The back side is the waves. All right, so we're going to be using this, and I went ahead and I cut out, let's get this. So our bases. So we have a piece of Pool Party, and this measures 8.5 by 5.5, and then we have a piece of Old Olive that we're going to layer on there, and then I have a piece of Whisper White, and that's going to go on the inside. So both of these are 4 by 5.25. All right, so we're going to put these over here. So here's the mathing that we're going to do. 4 by 5.25 means that we need to make this piece smaller than that. So we're going to go 5, right? Because we're always going 1/4 inch. So we're going to go 5 by 3 3/4. I mean, that is just so perfect, right? So beautiful. So if we pull this out, then you can see where this is going to layer right perfectly on our piece of Old Olive. Really good. Now here's our little trick. This is going to make this so simple and so easy. We are just going to take this and we're going to cut it at 1.5. All right, because what we're going to do, we're going to get that little guy out of the way right now, is we're just going to go ahead and layer this. Because you have this beautiful designer series paper that is doing all the work for you, we are just going to do it and turn it just like that, and that is going to be our card front. So simple, right? It's just the paper is doing all of the hard work for us, which we love. We get to show off both sides, because you know, designer series paper, sometimes there's an A side and a B side, but sometimes you're like, they are both A sides. I mean, let's be clear. Oh, did I do it upside down? Oh, no worries. The fish are the A side. The fish are definitely the A side on this. I'm not gonna lie. I think the fish definitely steal the show. So we're just going to put this just right here. All right, how's that look? Isn't that so good? So easy. Now, we do want to put a little greeting on here, so let's go ahead and do that. And so I am going to take a piece of that pool party. So we're going to actually put this on a piece of pool party. Let me go ahead. I think these two are exactly the same, right? Card base. So you know card base. So we're just going to fold that guy in half. So we're going to fold one of them in half. We'll get our bone folder out. We'll go ahead and bone fold that one. Right, and so this is going to go right like that, and so we can just go ahead and do that. Like I said, this is simple stamping. This is really simple, really easy. We are letting the paper and the images do all the work. We just have to lay them out in a way that makes sense to us, right? And so I'm going to come in with one of the greetings. Open up my stamp pad here. We're going to go ahead. This says relax, which is relax. I mean, can we just like have a minute and joke about that for a second? If you are on Instagram at all, you'll see like all of the reels, like when someone tells you to relax, that's the last thing you're going to do. Like, you're like, don't tell me to relax. But in some occasions, it can be a good thing, right? It can be a really good thing. So we're just going to go ahead and give this a little chop here. We did that. So we just have that other piece of pool party. So we've got that. And then she's going to sit right there. That is how it's going to go. So we're going to go ahead and add some adhesive to that. So remember, this is our simple one. This is our really simple one that we're doing just to kind of get us warmed up. The next one, you're going to have to pay attention. You are going to have to pay close attention on the other one. So we're just going to put that there. And then I grabbed, these are the shimmering dots. And I don't know if they're made for this particular suite, but I was like, those could be really cute on there, because you think of like fish and that little shimmery, right? I thought that would be really cute. So we're just going to come in with those white ones on either side of that relax. Hopefully they're lined up somewhat straight. Yeah. So isn't that cute? Look at that. Really, really fun, really easy. We're going to go ahead and put our basic white on the inside, so it's easier to write a little something more to it. But that is about as simple of a card as you can get. Like I said, we really are letting the paper do all of the work, keeping it really easy, really simple. All right, so that was our simple stamping. What did that take me? 30 seconds? I mean, cutting the paper was the biggest part of that. So now we're going to do one that's a little bit more involved. It is a little bit more involved, so you are going to have to follow along a little bit. Remember that you can always slow it down and replay, but if you go to my YouTube channel, Hand Stamped with Lisa Pareto, Wednesday mornings, all of my videos for the week go up on there, and they have written instructions there, and so that can make it a lot easier for you. So we are going to start with these little jobbers here. All right, so what I did, let me turn the camera, Lisa, come on. So what I did is I stamped this little fella, and I stamped it Pecan Pie in Crumb Cake, and then I cut it out. And so when you do that, this is what you get. You get a perfect little Adirondack chair. But for those of us who have been up north, we know that an Adirondack chair never looks quite this nice. They are weather beaten. They are loved. And so we're going to just rough this guy up a little bit. So I'm going to take some Crumb Cake, and I'm going to take my just my little blending brush, right? And we're just going to add some color and some roughness to this fella. Just make it look a little bit more worn, a little bit more loved. Right? We know that's how they get. That's how they get when you're up at the lake. Things don't really stay perfect. They get a little beaten up, which we love. Makes them all the more special. So we just gave that guy a little bit of love. I like when it's a little bit darker in some spots. So don't be afraid to go right from your brush right to it, and just give it a little bit more in certain areas. You don't always have to come off and then go on. If you're looking to really distress it, you can go right from your color right to the image, and it'll just give it a little bit more of a pop there. So we've got our chair done. So we'll set him off to the side. Now, let me show you how we're going to work this. I have a piece of crumb cake, and this is where we are going to do some cutting. All right, we're going to do some cutting. So if I was my cutter, so we're going to make basically 2 card fronts. Which way am I going here? So we're going to make 2 card fronts. So all we're going to do is we're just going to cut this piece in half at 5 1/2. All right, and then we've made 2. So if we score these at 4 1/4, we've just basically made 2 cards. And we need both of these for this card. This is one of those cards, it may need a little bit of extra postage because she is substantial. All right, so we have 2 cards that are both 8 1/2 by 5 1/2 scored in the middle. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take this one and we're going to fold it nice. And then I'm going to open this up. I'm going to come to my, open this up. This score line is going to sit at 1 1/2. So if I look at that score line, I'm going to have it sit at 1 1/2, close it up, and I'm going to cut that front part off so it sits like this. All right, so scored it and then just left this little flap that's going to be 1 1/2, and then I have another card that's exactly the same. That's really the tricky part about this. Once you master that, you're going to be perfectly fine. So we're going to do this right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to layer these 2 together. Now, you're probably saying, Lisa, there's an easier way to do that. You could cut this here and score that there and do, this is just the part, this is how it made sense in my brain so that I could do it without, like, you know, having to make all sorts of different weird lengths and cuts and stuff. This just made sense to me. So that is the way we did it, in the way that it made sense in my brain. So we're going to come in with a bunch of other pieces that we're going to layer on here. And so we are going to start with a piece of Very Vanilla. And so this is 4 by 5 1/4 because it's going to be the inside of my card, the part where we're going to write our greeting or our well wishes. So we're going to put that part right here. All right, and then this part, look at how cute that is, again, on the back. This piece is going to go right here on the front flap. So again, 4 by 5 1/4 there. And I can tell I'm going to need to stop and get a little drink of water. Sorry. All right, so we've got that piece 4 by 5 1/4 on the front, and now we've got this front flap, and what I'm going to use are those really pretty blue stripes. And so I have 2 pieces. They are 5 1/4 by 1 1/4, and so we're just going to go ahead and apply our adhesive to the back of both of those. I will tell you, this card is really just about cutting pretty paper and sticking it on. So we're going to come right in here. Put that one there, fold this over. So this is, I've seen it called like an envelope card, but I didn't really care for me anyway. When I saw it done, this came out as a peak, and I didn't really want a peak there. That wasn't what I was going for. I wanted something a little bit easier. I used my arches, which are back in stock, yay! And I cut a piece of Crumb Cake cardstock with that arch. So that is that. Now, here's the part that we are going to need to do together that I'm going to ask you to have a little bit of patience on to see how this actually works. So we're going to go back to that Designer Series paper. All right, and remember this piece that I showed you right away, we're gonna go back to this one. We're gonna go back to this one. And this is the piece that I wanna use, because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna die cut this right here. So I can put my chair on that for the front of the card. Isn't that gonna be so super cute? I think that'll be really, really darling. So in order to do that, what we're gonna do is we are going to cut this part off, right? We're just gonna cut that part off. And so let's go ahead, and the lines are right there for you, so you just have to get them lined up. So we're just going to go ahead and cut this one. So we're obviously going to save that. That is also the piece of navy and white on the back, but look at all the cute little images there. Save that goodness. And then we're going to come over here and we're going to cut here. We're going to cut at this one as well. And this is the part where we're going to pretend, well, it really isn't a cooking show, because in a cooking show I would pull it up and it would already be done. I do need to scoot over to my embossing and die cutting machine because there's only 2 pieces of this in the thing, and so I got to do that really quick. So this is the part where I would say, like, talk amongst yourselves, what's going on, what's new, all of that kind of stuff. But give me a second to do that because I wanted to show you that part and not have it all done already so that you could understand kind of what I was going for. So let me do that real quick. You can hear the magic, right? And we're back. All right, not too bad. Thanks for sticking around. All right, so there we have that really adorable piece. Isn't that just so, so cute? Oh, goodness gracious. So we have this. I think that's adorable. We're going to take this darling chair and look, it's going to be like it is sitting on the dock. That is probably one of my favorite things to do. Sitting on a dock up north at a lake, the best. Definitely the best. That has been so much of my summers. As a kid, we'd always went up north somewhere, and then when my parents got their lake house, it was just so fun to take the kids up. Although I will say, going to the lake house with little kids, my kids were, like kindergarten when they got it. I can't tell you how many times we fell in that dang lake. Memorial Day weekend, it would be like, it is freezing, and we would end up with somebody in the lake. So I'm going to just post this one on here. I found that I needed a little extra oomph on this designer series paper. It's not thin, but it's clearly thinner than a cardstock. And so I feel like backing it with that piece of crumb cake just gives it a little bit more staying power, because it's going to be the key to how we open this card. And so I wanted it to have just a little bit more to it. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get a little greeting for this card. And so we're going to come into our piece of, I have a piece of Very Vanilla here, and that Relax that we used, I'm going to clean that guy off real quick. For that other card, we're actually going to use it again because it feels like it's just the perfect size for a nice little greeting on this card. All right, so we're going to come in with our crumb cake. I mean, is crumb cake not just one of the best neutrals? I love me some crumb cake. All right, we're going to come in here. I'm just going to go right there. Perfection. All right, and then we're going to cut that out. And remember, we're saving all of these things. We're going to make so many good things with those. And so we're just going to go ahead and trim this up real quick, leaving just a little bit of room for a little bit. I think I'm going to put a little bit of baker's twine on here. I think that is what I'm going to go for. So we'll get that guy there. All right, baker's twine. So linen thread, also really good. I like baker's twine just because it's a little bit thicker. It has a little bit more oomph to it. And I think in a project like this where we're feeling it's like that little bit of rustic up north feel, you need something with a little bit more oomph to it. And so I feel like this baker's thread works really well. And I love this natural color one that we have. I feel like I use so much of the white, so it's always nice to have a reason to use that more natural color. So we'll get that, and then we're just going to give him a little bit of, and then when we put this on, we're just going to come and we're just going to slip it kind of right behind that chair. All right, now this is where the magic happens. Are you ready? I do have to cut one more piece. There was one more piece I wanted to show you. Let me get this real quick. So I felt like we needed a piece right here. Don't you think we need a piece when we open that up? I want something right there. So I was like, oh, well, look at that. So I felt like that would be a perfect little piece. So I'm going to cut it at 5 1/4. Then I'm going to trim it to 4. And tell me that doesn't look like the perfect piece to put inside there. It is almost like it was made for it. Love it. Of course, you could always use these stripes again, but I just thought this was like so cute. All right. Then we have a few more greeting. We have another greeting from this. It says, "Today is your day." So we're going to put that on the inside here. And then we have the little seagull. That just is going to add a perfect little touch to the inside. So look at how cute that is. Now, this goes here and this goes here. So this is the magic. So when we look at this, we're going to take this, we're going to flip it right over, and I'm going to come in with my dimensionals. And I'm going to put way more dimensionals than I normally do. You guys know I love to use dimensionals, but I'm not one of those people who puts like 5,000 dimensionals on a piece, on a card. I just don't think that needs it. But you can see I'm putting a lot more on here because I do need it to kind of do its magic here for me. So a whole bunch here. We're going to peel these guys off. You can see I'm just whipping them all over. And we're going to close this up. Now, when we come here, we're going to put this all the way to that side. And so when this opens, then this opens. Hey, look at that. And then to close it, you just do like that. So that's why that extra piece of crumb cake in the back was so important, because otherwise this is going to get all ruined the minute they open it. So really, really easy. We're just going to open it and then open it. And look at how, I mean, you guys, look at how perfect that is. I love it. I think it's so good. It makes me so happy. It makes me so happy. Can you see how awesome this paper is? Like the suite itself, like the stamp set and the die is perfect, right? But it's the paper that is the best. Love it so much. So that is those are my projects today. Like I said, we had one that was very, very simple, easy, right? We had with just the fish paper, and kept it really simple. And then this one just a little bit more involved. And it takes, I mean, this is a heavy duty card. It took a lot of cardstock, but so worth it. So fabulous, so wonderful. So that is what I have for you guys today. So don't forget, if you're not on my newsletter, comment newsletter below. I will get you the link, but that is where you're going to know, like, I was not here yesterday. I put that in my newsletter. So if you want to know those kinds of things, that is the place to be. Silly Old Bear tutorial. Also, we can get that is in the newsletter. The craft along. It's going to be so fun. It's going to be so fun. And then, the May Pretty Paper Party information will be coming out shortly. So you know, this is my monthly stamp club. You get 6 projects, half pack of designer series paper, it's ribbon, all the things. You will love it. It's so good. And so I will be announcing which paper I'm going to be using, and so you can start thinking about that. Sign up for that. We'll start May 1st through the 10th, and then we ship those out on the 20th. So that is what I have for you guys today. So I am going to get some cough drops and shut this voice down for the night. But thanks for being here with me and suffering through my coughing attacks. I hope you love this paper as much as I do. Soft spot in my heart. All right, my friends, make it a great one.